There are many people out there who only want a bailout. They don't want solutions. They don't want deliverance. They don't want justice. They don't want any long-term well-being. They just want to be bailed out. You may have someone who's hanging in the streets. He's involved in criminal activity. And now that people from the streets are looking for him, now suddenly he wants to stay at his uncle's house. He never speaks to his uncle. He never says things like happy birthday to his uncle. He's never interested in his uncle, but suddenly he becomes very interested. You know why? Because his parents don't want him around, because wherever he is, the people from the streets are looking for him, so wherever he is, the people from the streets will come. He lost his job because his employer told him, listen, you're hanging in the streets, that's none of my business, but when you trigger bad consequence for my business here, that is my business, so I can't have you here. So this guy begins to hang out with his uncle, and look at this. After several days, those people from the streets are looking for him, attack his uncle in his house, asking him where he is, and the uncle said he was somewhere in New York, and the people from the streets left. So now the uncle is traumatized. Now the people on the streets know who he is. He has been violated in his own place. Why? Because that nephew of his doesn't want any solutions. He just wants a bailout. And by him hanging around his uncle, now the people from the streets went to look for him at his uncle. So when he realized that the people from the streets are coming after him at his uncle's house, he left his uncle's house. So now they are looking for him at his uncle's house while he's now gone. So the negative attention and the negative consequences are now with the uncle, and they are at ease. You have people like that. They will only be around you, or want to be around you, or want you around them when they can shift their load onto you, so that they can walk away unharmed, in ease, without having to take any accountability or any responsibility. When you're dealing with such people, just shake them off of you. You don't have to fight with them. You don't have to argue with them. Just shake them off of you. And do not put up with them. If they're relatives of yours, someone is close to you, you can pray for them. You can do fierce prayers on their behalf. But eventually, they need to be responsible. They need to take responsibility and look for safety. When you have people that only want a bailout, realize that sooner or later they will endanger you to be at ease. It's the same as with a drug addict. A drug addict that doesn't seek any solutions, a drug addict is not interested in becoming clean. The only thing they want is to manipulate circumstances to avoid bad consequences. So they want to gather high no matter what. So now they begin to use other people to get resources to gather high. So they will steal, cheat, lie to preserve social relationships, so that they don't have to experience the loss of those relationships, because the loss of those relationships would mean they would lose their job, they would become homeless. They don't want any of that. But at the same time, they want to keep their high. So they'll begin to steal from relatives, they'll begin to take loans that they can't pay back, they'll do all kinds of stuff to get their high. And because they don't want any solutions, they just want someone to bail them out. Now you can bail someone out if their life is instantly in danger. For example, if you have a daughter who was in a very bad relationship and she came home because she is fleeing from that man, and the man comes at your place asking if she's at home, of course you're not going to say, yes, my daughter's in her room. No, of course not. You say she's not at home, and if he keeps coming back, you call the cops on him. Okay? Meanwhile, you tell your daughter, listen, this can't keep happening, that you choose to get involved with all those weird men, and then you come back at home, and then we get all the mess here. No, no, no. You're going to look for help. You got it? So, if you have to bail someone out once or twice, okay. But don't let it become a habit. And the best thing is, don't even deal with people who only want a bailout. I'm telling you, don't deal with them. Whoever they are, realize what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a being, or else you're dealing with a creature that doesn't want to be responsible. You're dealing with a creature that's so addicted to relief that they will even endanger you, and it won't even bother them at all. They'll be sleeping at night at ease while you're the one in a hospital or you're the one in the grave. So, those who only want the bailout, do not involve yourself with them. If necessary that you need to build them out spiritually, you do it, but don't be involved with them. Christ wants you to be empathic towards others. Christ wants you to love your neighbor as yourself. Christ wants you to forgive. It's all true, but Christ also wants you to be wise as a serpent. Be wise enough not to allow people that are dangerous to have access to you. Because someone that only flees from things and never wants to face anything, they become dangerous. So don't grant access to yourself. Don't let people have access to you, who are dangerous. Don't. Agree with Christ.